Hello there and welcome to my channel Novice Modelling in the Midlife Crisis. My name's Andy and as you can see I've got a bunch of pretty much completed model kits in front of me which come from my Airfix 10300 60th anniversary D-Day set, which I got on eBay for about 60 quid. Now I actually started building this slightly before D-Day and I pretty much got all the models finished and painted, but hadn't actually done the decals. So I've actually applied the decals, pretty much finished them off now, so I thought I'd show you where we're at. So obviously we've done a video already on the coastal fortress, which was pretty much as is, so I'm not really going to go into any great detail on that. If you're interested in that, I'll put a link in the description below. We actually discussed our SDKF Z7 and our 88mm anti-tank gun in the same video because we had that painted up to this standard. We didn't actually have the tracks on this because the tracks had broken on me. As you can probably see, I have actually temporarily repaired them with some staples, which doesn't exactly look that great, but that's where I am with it. I wasn't very happy with the interior quality of the paint that's gone on here. This was the paint that actually came provided with the kit, so maybe I needed to do a little bit more with that. But this does actually come with a cover, so I am actually thinking of just putting the cover, painting the cover and putting the cover on it. Strangely enough though, it didn't come with any glazing for the windscreen, which I found a little bit bizarre, but there we go. So that might be what how that one actually ends up. The kits that we have actually painted up to are a standard that I'm kind of happy with, but I'm a novice at the end of the day, so I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are going to say, we could have done that a bit better, but this is kind of where I am at the moment. We finished our BF 109 that came with the kit. I did actually have a little bit of a moan about this because it wasn't particularly nice. It was some sort of click together. I think it's actually a Hella kit, I'm not exactly sure, because this was produced in conjunction with Hella, and Hella did actually release the same items under their own branding. But I painted this up pretty much with my own colours and just used my imagination. Basically I wanted the model depicted does not have a yellow nose on it, but I wanted to have a practice at putting a yellow nose or a coloured nose, because a lot of Luftwaffe aircraft did actually go for colourings in this area. I did actually find applying yellow to be a bit of a nightmare, and as you can see I've pretty much saturated the areas where the machine guns are going to be. But I mean, that's a lesson learned, because I wasn't really particularly bothered about how this turned out. I didn't bother painting up the cockpit canopy either, and I do have managed to get a bit of clouding on the cockpit also. But I mean, it kind of looks okay, and for the amount of time that I put into painting it, which wasn't that much or as much as I would have liked, it's kind of come out okay. The stand that this is put on didn't actually come with the kit, it's from some other kit that I've got, but I went for the wheels up on it, so I thought I'd just use that. And the next one we've got is our GMC CCKW 353 truck. As we can see, I've decided to paint the tarps in a slightly different shade. This was olive drab, I think. No, not olive drab, khaki drab. Basically I just want everything to be the same colour. It comes with quite a comprehensive set of decals, which was quite nice. I have actually put the US flags on the alternate side because it was supposed to go here, but I just didn't like how much it sort of got in the view of the driver, so I put all the flags on the opposite side, and this has come out okay. I've left the canopy unattached so I can actually go either or on that. The tyres aren't particularly bad. There is a little bit of finishing off that I might actually do. Canopies were hand painted and the vehicle itself was airbrushed. None of these have actually had any lacquer or finishing lacquer put on them, which I may or may not do, because I may or may not decide to put some weathering or sand effects or whatever on them at some point in the future. The next one up is the Sherman. This was kind of basic. Again, we had trouble with our tracks and the paint doesn't seem to want to adhere to them. These are also put together with staples, as I just couldn't get them to go together properly. So apologies for the experts out there, but I struggled with these tracks quite immensely and didn't really enjoy them at all. I've picked out all my shovels and accessories in silver. The gun does actually rotate. Incidentally, this set of markings here, I actually later discovered it actually comes with an additional set of markings which are actually slightly prettier, so I may change them over at some point, but these are the ones that are actually featured on the box, I believe. Next up we have our LCM Mark III landing craft. This has been painted up. I think it's a reasonable standard, it's not perfect. This was done using the airbrush. Some of the finer details like the ring and the anchor and what have you were done by hand, including the interior bay here. I've opted not to attach the ramps to any of my landing craft that I have, basically because I haven't decided what the end thing is going to be with these and whether I want to have them fixed up or fixed down, so leaving them just unattached at the moment kind of makes sense to me. I'm reasonably happy with how these turned out. As you can see, I've picked out the props in copper, and the rudders I've done in grey as well. The interior here was very highly diluted with thinners, and it's given me a sort of almost distressed sort of look to it, which I think is kind of okay. This is actually not black, this is something called sea blue, which is a very dark blue. I was more curious to see what colour it turned out than anything else, so I decided to use that. I should have used black, but this is almost black, so it was a nice little experiment to do. And yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Next up, we got the DUKW. Again, it came with a very comprehensive set of decals, including this little unit marking here. I think I might actually have the wrong incorrect machine gun on top here. I think it was a smaller one that was supposed to apply. I again chose to do my tarp in a different colour. This is just standard khaki. This is mainly influenced by, I have actually seen some videos of restored DUKWs that have a tarp similar in colour to this. That's why I decided on that. Again, I just didn't want everything to be the same colour. It just doesn't look good, I don't think. I'm kind of happy with how this turned out. It went together quite nice. There was a nasty gap at the front here, which I filled, which seemed logical because, well, it's got a big gap in it. It's just going to sink. So yeah, we can see it's got a lot of decals on it. I haven't done the prop in grey, prop in copper on this, which is something that I might actually do in the future. Next up, we've got our Jeep, which is loaded with a few bits of loose accessories, machine gun. Again, there was loads of decals to go on this, which are very small and very fine. They gave me a little bit of trouble, but I managed to get most of them on. There was a couple that I didn't bother with because I was just like, these are just a nightmare. This one's got a fixed windshield on it. And then we have the trailer. Again, all these accessories are just loose, so I can do whatever I want with them. Wasn't too many decals to go on this. One of them actually broke, as you can possibly see there. Well, they all went on pretty well okay, to be honest with you, so I wasn't that troubled by any of them. Next, we come up to our LCVP. Again, I've left that unattached. This went together okay. Again, I've used this dark sea blue underneath, picked out this in copper. Again, we've got a sort of worn look on the inside. These bits on the top here, they were kind of difficult to get together and they are a little bit iffy. I did have a lot of Vallejo putty put on this and I haven't really sanded it off very well, so there are some niggles on this one, I suppose you could say. There is actually a decal US flag to attach on here, but I decided that was too fragile to attach, bearing in mind I haven't decided what to do with it. There were some figures that came with this. I haven't painted any of the figures up, unfortunately. Both of these have holes in their stomachs. And they seem rather bow-legged, and quite exactly how I'm supposed to fit one of these figures into this tiny hole behind a machine gun, I've got no idea. And again, this large sort of stance, how I'm supposed to get a driver in there, I have no idea either. Incidentally, one thing that I did find was if you look at the size of these figures, and then you look at the size of these figures that came with the, well, actually let's use this guy here. He came with a Jeep, I think. The sizing is really quite off. I mean, the grey guys are, you know, a good sort of 6 inches bigger than the green guys, and this pretty much is the same when we move on to our actual figures as well. There is a size discrepancy here. So yeah, that was one little gripe. It does actually come with a whole raft of other bits and bobs that I haven't got around to doing yet. These are mainly obstacles for the beach, which are pretty cool, but again, I didn't see the point in building these up until I'm actually quite decided what to do with them, which will probably be a diorama, but maybe that'll be ready for D-Day next year. The kit comes with around about 140 figures, or 140, 160 figures. I've done a basic prime on these ready for painting, but there is quite a lot of excess and things that needs to be trimmed off on these, so these will be done within the next year or so. Like I said, I haven't got around to doing these because I've got no experience in painting 172 figures, so I'm kind of daunted by the whole prospect, but we'll get them done at some time. So that's about it for this kit. I'm going to do a quick review of the other 3 D-Day orientated kits that I had a look at. They'll be up either today or tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and apologies for not being around. I haven't done any videos for the past 10 days or so. I think I've had to be in work, unfortunately, earning money to buy lots of fantastic plastic. So there we go, all finished and done. And at some point over the next year, we'll get onto them figures, and maybe we'll do a proper diorama next year. Again, thanks for watching, and be seeing you.